Good morning, Excellency Shri Pratap Singh, dear colleagues from different countries, authorities, organizer of the Healthcare Summit, ladies and gentlemen. Normally in our countries, in Latin American country, in Ecuador, we used to think that technology needs to come from developed countries like Europe, US, Canada, Japan, Korea. But most of the time, we don't realize that India can provide us affordable, accessible, adaptable, and adaptable technology. After living 5 years in Mumbai and almost 2 years here in Delhi, I can assure you that India has a technology that can develop and that can change not only my country, but the worldwide healthcare. I have two passions since I am here. One is the agriculture, and the other one is the healthcare. So I spend a lot of time making research, visiting hospitals, visiting pharmaceutical companies, visiting many places, many countries, many states, and many cities here in India. And absolutely, India has the solution for the healthcare in the world. Okay? And it's not an utopia, it's a reality. I want to give you a few examples what's happening in my country and in a few other countries in Latin America. A treatment for hepatitis C in Ecuador costs around 60,000 US dollars. Here in India costs $4,500. The pulmonary lung fibrosis here in India, in Ecuador costs monthly $1,200. Here in India costs $90. Hepatitis, prostatic cancer. The cost of the medicines monthly in Ecuador costs $4,500, here in India, $900. So you can see and you can realize that the difference of the cost is 20, 10, 5, and in the best case, twice. So this is a huge, huge and enormous difference. And also the difference of surgeries and treatment. One heart surgery in US, it costs $1,100,000. In India, $5,000. In Ecuador, $25,000. So we can realize that we have two topics. One is the treatment and the other is the medicines. And I want to give you just an example that it happened to me in 2013. I have a Chilean guy from Chile that he called me in 2014. And he told me, okay, you know, Hector, I have hepatitis C, so please send me the medicine. So for me, the most obvious and the most convenient idea that I can give to my friend is, okay, you have to come to India. You can get an appointment with a doctor. The doctor is going to give you the prescription. You buy the medicines and you go back to your country. It was very easy, but he was very affected with hepatitis C. He was waiting for a liver transplant. And after all, he said, you know, I have to travel 30 hours. I'm very affected with the liver. So I think I'm not going to survive. So please, please, please send me the medicines. So in the medicines in Chile, it costs more than $60,000, the treatment. And here in India, I told you before, it's $4,500. So at the end, I send the medicines, and my friend now is totally completely healed. And there is no trace of the virus in the blood. So now he's surviving and he's doing well. This is a reality between our countries. This is a reality in Latin America. This is a reality in my country. So what can be, when I said to my friend, you know, Carlos, you cannot come to India. What should happen if you go and there is one city, there is one country that they have all the technology that India can offer? Medicines, technology, doctors, you know, all this kind of thing. You know, if you compare the flight time from Ecuador to here is 30 to 35, 40 hours. It's a long flight. But if this Chilean friend can come to a Latin American country like Ecuador, Chile, Ecuador is 3 hours. If this person can come to Guatemala, is 7 hours. You know, he can do that. He can do that. And now I'm talking only about Latin America. But what's happening with US? US, according to the specialist, Obamacare is going to disappear in the next 3 to 4 years because the Obamacare is not sustainable. You know, and also Trump, he wanted to disappear Obamacare. But if you know the history about Obamacare, the person who survive Obamacare was John McCain. And Obamacare survived only with one vote from one Republican who was John McCain. So in the future, according to some specialists, Obamacare is going to disappear. So we have 50 million people who are affiliated to the Obamacare. So we have 50 million people that they need to see an option for the healthcare. Many people because I visited many hospitals here in India, Apollo hospitals, Medanta hospitals, Bombay hospital, Reliance hospital in Mumbai. I think I visited more than 30 hospitals here in India. And these hospitals, they have the unit of medical tourism. I went to Medanta around 1 month ago, and I asked them, okay, do you have some Western US Americans, Latin Americans, Europeans that they come to Medanta to get the treatment or the medicines? Yes, we have only 1%. Only 1%. So what is the perspective of business of the healthcare in Latin America? Is huge. Because you know the cost of the medicines and the treatments in Latin America are extremely expensive, especially because of the medicines. You know, 40% of the medicines in US, the generic medicines, comes from India, right? From the best pharmaceutical laboratories, Cipla, Sun Pharma, Ipca, Glenmark, right? But what is happening in my country? What is happening in some Latin American countries? That we purchase only 1% of Indian medicines for our private and public social security and public and private sector. It's nothing. There is no make sense that we are buying the medicine from US and from Europe and US, they are buying the medicines from India. So something is wrong. So we need to build a bridge, we need to change that. Because it's not like you are buying or you are selling, I don't know, jeans, toys, or we are talking about lives. We are talking about patients and we are talking about families. What is one of the options that we are thinking about? You know, Dubai is a nice city. They have a lot of malls, they have a lot of restaurants, they have a lot of entertainment. But they don't have, and they are developing also the medical tourism. But the medical tourism, the treatment and the medicine is still very expensive. It's not like here. But you know, what should be the idea for this market of US or Latin America? To build up a healthcare city in Ecuador, in Latin America, because it becomes very easy to move from Latin America to Ecuador or from US to Ecuador. We are talking that from Atlanta to Ecuador is 4 hours. From Miami to Ecuador is 3 hours and a half. New York, Quito, my capital, is 7 hours. So we need to build up a city and change the healthcare of Latin America and US, building up a city in Latin America for all these patients. Thank you so much.